Give me red, and so that I can give you green for rest of the life. That is the situation. I always say, give me red, so that it is. People might say that I'm rejoicing when they you see the entire market is in red, but keep in mind, when you have these opportunities, that is where you can get a bargain price. So it is like a discount sale. What we want to do this in today's video, when I'm recording this on 25th November, and first of all, before we proceed, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance to all my YouTube family, and also everyone who has been benefiting from these videos which I'm sharing, and looking forward for a peaceful weekend investing for everyone, going forward in new year. And so now today what we want to cover as usual is go through what does it mean, for the market, how we should be planning our strategies for next few months, weeks, and for long-term investing. And also we will cover some of the technical charts for indexes, because market is completely red in India as well as elsewhere. But obviously India has been outperformers from quite some time, so obviously having, and maybe there's something else going on which as a market participant know and we don't know about it. Let's look at that. But before I proceed further, there was a complete disclaimer, and please make sure that I'm not trying to give you any recommendation to buy and sell. And if you want to know how to use the TradingView software, which is one of the leading software, and SaaS-based software for doing the charting and understanding economic data and whatnot, even fundamental analysis, it is very useful. You can go to my playlist, Ultimate Beginners Trading View Guide 2022, which I'll be updating shortly, so you can get started with that. And I'll be bringing the bite-sized content of TradingView, because that's where you get most of the edge by saving your time. And tool is the process to help you, do an analysis quickly and save your time. Okay, if you haven't created the account, I will leave the link below so you can create a free account and get started. So let's understand, looking at where we are. First of all, this one is where we want to see if there was any positivity in the market. Let's look at based on the price. So there are different ways you can look into and dissect that, right? So performance by week, you see there's health and technology is where you're getting some bit of green, and obviously consumer durable. So that gives you a clear perspective as you go a bit longer time frame, because they are considered to be kind of the bet in terms of less volatility of consumer non-durables, especially like Hindustan Lever, ITC, Nestle, and so on and so forth. And technology, health-wise, you see some companies are showing some kind of, because they're saying the resurgence of COVID. And likewise, you can see other areas where it is having impact. And you can further drill down and look at it monthly basis, then you will be able to get a better picture what has been outperformer. And you can see, again, you see a lot of green shoots up in this, especially on the FMCG side of it. And that's why it is considered to be a long-term compounder, and you should use these opportunities when there are periods where you can accumulate this for long-term basis, because they are low beta stocks. You only look for long-term investing per se. So let's get started. And what we want to do is I want to cover some of the macro picture. Okay, so again, I've created this playlist. If you want this playlist, type I want in the comment box below so I can share this playlist to you. Whoever puts in I want, I will share you the playlist of my indexes and also all the macro ones and any future which I make the playlist, because this is very useful to track it from the macro level. Again, this is something I explained you earlier. This is a free version, but I still have, as you can see, I have multiple playlists, and there's a hack which I've shared with you in one of the videos. Please do watch it so that you can create that hack and create multiple watch lists. And if you haven't and you want me to cover that, just type it, cover that in next video so I can cover that. So let's see, you can benefit from that. So let's start with the Bitcoin. Okay, because we want to see what's going on with Bitcoin, because that also kind of gives you how what is the indicator for speculators, and especially now. Last time I covered this particular Bitcoin, I did mention that if it breaks this level, you can see the next level, which is pivot, is sometime around it is around 13 something. This is what I was kind of doing analysis, and that is something which we I will see whether it's hold up. So 13,000 right now, it's just after this big engulfing candle on the weekly basis, just kind of on the sideways. So keep an eye on it, because it's at a very crucial level at the pivot as well. So last time it had a lot of support zone in here. So looks like market participants are trying to let's see, where is the annotating tool so that I can do that. Yeah, this one. So this area is kind of demand zone for Bitcoin, right? And that is something I'll be closely watching from here on, see what's going on here. Okay, so let's move on to the other macro part of it, AUD. So that's, I'll leave it there. Let's look at the bank Nifty. Will cover in the India wicks. So as you can see, there has been, if it's in the range of 20, the wicks is basically indicator of volatility index. So the higher means there's a high volatility, and this spike was a COVID time spike. What we're seeing here is there is a bit of volatility increase from what it was earlier, which was from 11 onwards. It's given a bit of spike. That's why you see the volatility. We have to see and track it. And there has been a bit of a spike here, like 33. So if it's higher, that means there's a lot of volatility and it's not a great time and you have to be cautious about it. And that's how you should read it. It has been inverse proportional. So if it's going down, that means there is an smoothness market and you can basically have a good opportunities to invest or trade for medium to long term. So that's how you should read it. So the volatility index has increased a bit, but still it's below 20, so nothing to worry there. And I'll cover all the indexes later. So I also look at triple Q, which is basically Nasdaq index ETF, triple Q. And as you can see here, it is making lower high and lower lows. So that is something, there's no reprieve whatsoever, right? So as long as there is, you can see here, this is completely going into lower territory. Yeah. So, and this is something which will for us have to track it. If it start making a higher structure, that means there is some recovery which is coming up for the IT Nasdaq, but till then I will stay away. Structure is not weak over there. And US dollar 10-year bond, so that is also, after it has touched of 4.35, it has come down to 3.3, which is also tells you that this is obviously 10-year bond yield, and higher means that the equity becomes less lucrative as investment option and it goes into safe bet for the US bonds, right? And it started off from almost zero point 0.5. Ever since that high inflation started moving up and touch almost all the way to 4.33. So you can see how it has performed specifically in terms of and obviously you have to see and look at it in terms of what is your investing returns against the safe bet like 10-year bond, which is a sovereign bond. And that is that earlier when it was at 2%, 0.5%, you could borrow at that price and also invest in equity and you can get a better return. So a lot of liquidity was pumping in into equity markets and bitcoins and other kind of cryptocurrency. Ever since they had a higher interest rate, the liquidity is being sucked out of I would say a slightly higher risk investment to the safe bets. Now US 500, again, it is also non-trending and also making kind of an lower lows and lower highs. So we'll have to wait till the structure changes. USD INR is again climbing up, which is also not a good sign. So it is more of the money flow index in terms of if you are getting at the higher end territory, which means there's more money going out of India, and something we have to track it and see what's happening with the US dollar versus INR if you are investing. And I track different markets, so I basically put it as part of the my macro review in terms of monthly and weekly basis. US oil, which is now slightly climbing up. So far, it is nothing major activity there, and this is index for this is the index for XJO, which is Australian index, and there's a volatility for Australia market, and zinc and copper, some of the metals which I also track. So that's the macro level here. Let's look at some of the indexes. So this is another index um, which you have. I have some stocks, so I can remove that, which you probably don't need it. So let's look at one by one. So let's look at the daily one, so get a better picture, because we had a bit of an. Let's start with, and if you look at the Nifty here, and let's start with the weekly first to understand where we are. And I remove this, yeah. So there is a decent, and you can see the candle formation. This also tells you that market closed little bit almost at the lower end of the day, and it is not a very good sign. So it looks like more pain to come. But most importantly, what is important for me is to track this level, right? If and this level is something, if it's breaches, then I would say this is the this will create a lower low structure, right? And then you can have a little bounce back and then can fall back again. So if it stays here in this zone and reverts, if it doesn't close below this on a weekly basis, then obviously we have the structure ready and it's a buying opportunity. But this for me, it will be a uh, something which to track on, right? Because this pivot is something give us an opportunity. So every time it will fall in, I want to check what's happening, is it having given a reversal sign or not, right? So that is one. So let's look at the other index and see what's going on there. IT index again, it is already beaten down, so I will be looking at a buying opportunity, because it looks like this is a good support area, and this is support area which I want to track it. And so that is something which you can look at it. Yeah, small cap has been, look at this candle, this is absolutely big engulfing candle. It engulfed most of the weeks here, almost to the point here, right? Which is, if you look at it, quite frightening in a way, because you say more pain to come. So it has basically taken pain almost from August 22 up until all the candle have been engulfed by this one candle. So that's, but still from the pivot point of view, it is, you can see this was a period where this if you look at it from simple point of view, that it has not able to cross this level, and it is taken back. So I think next level of support is here. If this is broken, then you're going to have more pains in small cap. Mid cap, again the same, the 4 5 weeks of candle has been engulfed by this one candle. So let's see if it can hold 8066.90, and then if not, then you have next support of 7000. PSU, again, a lot of big rally came in, and now most of them were kind of in lower end of the day, or at least a lower circuit, which understandable, because got a huge gain. So you always have to book the profits in the rally and not be too greedy. So that is also important, that you, if you are able to get 40-50% in matter of couple of weeks, it's better to book that gains and not give up to the market. Reality index also, from the structure point of view, I think it was kind of again having the similar structure of where it couldn't take this high and then started moving downwards. but given the commentary coming from the real estate, I want to track this and see whether it was a COVID pent up demand or it is something which is a sustained rally for the new real estate cycle. Again, why I'm doing this is important because if market is going down and some of the sectors which are either sideways, you want to start looking at, they might be leading indicator the market is sensing something, and that sector rotation is playing. So if you go through all of these sectors and understand, is there anywhere, and under this, because this is a top down approach, so when you do this sector analysis versus Nifty, then you would know if Nifty is going down and making low structure and a particular sector is going sideways, that means there is a smart money moving to the sector and you can start picking up stocks specifically. Again, this is how I look at it. And then you start looking at individual chart patterns of individual leading stocks. And by the way, I maintain the stock by stock for each sector, subsector, so that I can track them and quickly go through those analysis, right? So like for auto, again, this was the area which I was tracking, but now it has closed below that. So obviously that has disturbed the whole pattern of auto. Let's see whether it start making the higher structure or not. But for now, this was one of the sector which I was betting on for the next rally, but that seems to be also not at the moment. I will look at it after a couple of weeks when it start goes into sideways before it start making kind of an higher high or structure like that. So let's see if I can get it this. Yeah. So basically it goes here, and then see whether it can go back here or not. That is something time will tell. But again, you got the point here, because that's there. This is CNX comps, and this is mid cap index 150, Nifty Junior, same story. It's all, so most of the structures down. But what we have to do is we have to start comparing against the major index, which is Nifty, and see what's happening in power. You can see that CNX Infra, again, this seems to be very positive because still it has higher high structure intact. As you can see here, it has higher high structure intact, right? Which means that if this level is taken off, then that's the area which I would be worried. Till then, I'm all right, because, and I will look for the buying opportunity for the stocks which are also giving me indicators that there is some kind of strength. So infra will be in my radar, so let's keep it there. I can't accept, because it's a free version, so I can use only one. But if you have paid version, then you can basically have multiple labels there. So that's what the message. Same way utilities, mid cap, CNX, MNC. Again, this MNC, if you are an MNC stock investors, so you should track the individual companies. And I maintain a separate checklist or basically a separate list of MNC stocks to look at it, to accumulate it during this fall. And that is where, because MNC stocks have a good management, and also they are also have been from corporate friendly in terms of you don't see much of any kind of manipulation in books and stuff. So you want to basically invest them for long term, like I Bet India, or there could be a other list. If you want that list, I'm happy to share that. Just type in comment box, share the list, so I can put that list in my next video. Sensex, again, this is so far, I think, as you can see here, it is moment people were buying in this rally, right? So let's draw that chart here. People were buying in this rally. Now it's falling. There is a pain. So you can see here, people every time it was going up, and most of the people were interested in buying here, but now if you buy here, you are in pain, right? So that's why you always want to buy from support point of view, right? And moving average is one way of looking at it. If you just simply add the moving average here, and just track it, what's going on with the moving average level. So it is, let's take input for 21. Oops, 1 minute. So that was a disclaimer just to make sure that you take this as part of your learning exercise. And let me make it a red big. So the 21 is because it's a Fibonacci number, no specific thing. So it's right now at 21 EMA, and then you can also see that what is the is it still maintaining 50 week. So it's still far away from 50, right? Every time it goes in, it always comes below. So right now if it comes below and holds a 50 week moving average, then it's in buying opportunity. Till then structure is intact. Same way here, BSE, large cap, you can see that they're all kind of there. So you got the point. So this is something which, and CNX, FMCG, again, you have that index. So that's a 50-week moving average. And so, yeah, so that's the analysis of all the indexes. Now you can see mid cap is below 50 weeks. So I don't like the structure. I will let this settle down, and looks like more pain is there. And if it takes away this particular index, this particular view, so then it becomes a bit of a challenge as well. So that's all I wanted to cover to understand that. So what we covered is to go through the macro element of it, look at it, what's happening, especially India wakes and Bitcoin, and then look at it, what happening from the index point of view, look at the opportunities for leading indicators, because now the market is softening. And one advice I want to give you, never buy when it is on the rally. Let it settle down and do it. So because then if you use these opportunities to buy and start a SIP, you will not be in a situation of pain, because if you're buying here and if you're buying here, you are comfortably sitting even with this gain, because you obviously have that. And if you're not part of my Telegram channel, I keep sharing it. When the market was on sideways for so long, I was always acclimating the SIP in the, especially on the Nifty index through ETF, and I just enjoy and chill and read more about companies rather than focusing on investing, because you want to accumulate all the good companies through SIP mode when it is on sideways market. And I stop it when it went way above the moving average. I stopped that SIP because I want to make sure that I'm not doing dollar cost averaging at any market. I want to dollar cost averaging when there's a right opportunity to do that, because I get maximum buck of my money and investment. That is the reason I follow that. Since I track the market on weekly basis as part of Peaceful Weekend Investing, then it's easier for me to take that decision. Those who are not cannot do that, that's not an advice for them, but that's just what I do as part of Peaceful Weekend Investing. So it's simple as that. The more you learn, the more you earn. So if you're liking our content, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell as well, and you will share with your friends and family so they get benefited, because to come up with these videos, it takes a lot of effort, and I think that by doing that, you help YouTube algorithm to other like-minded investors can also track these videos and benefit from it. Till my next video, and hopefully I'll see you before the end of this new year with some great content, and let you enjoy the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and have a peaceful weekend investing. Bye-bye.